guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about mainstream again. So if you have been following me and watching my videos, you know that I've talked about mainstream a few months ago. I had the opportunity to watch it last November and I did a review of the movie. But I really wanted to get into the movie like in spoiler type of situation. I wanted to discuss some things, but because the movie wasn't out and basically no one had seen it, I decided to postpone the video until the movie was out for mainly everyone. So yeah, here I am with that video. The movie is finally out. It is available on VOD and in theaters in some places. And yeah, so let's dive deep into mainstream. Also goes without saying that these will have like major spoilers of the movie. I'm going to go deep into certain scenes and topics, and I'm like diving really deep into the subjects of the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I recommend you go watch my spoiler-free review, and then after you watch the movie, if you still feel like it, come to this one where I'm going to dissect almost everything about the movie. So I feel like most people didn't get the movie. I am shocked about all the reviews, the negative reviews that I've been seeing in the past few days. Like, I knew going into the movie, or I knew after watching the movie, that this would be a really divisive film, but I wasn't expecting the type of reviews that I've been seeing. Like, some people really dragged the movie, and I feel like those people didn't get it. So yeah, I hope you understand the movie better after watching this video and maybe change your opinion on it. The movie does have some cliche ideas, and like the commentary has some things that you would expect. So I think I'm going to start with those and then get deeper into the topics. Obviously, the movie comments on social media and how social media is a bad thing for like the most part of the movie. It focuses on the bad things about it. But the interesting thing about the movie is that it doesn't focus only on the social media aspect. It focuses on how people are so dependable on social media and dependable on their phones. The whole game show is supposed to show you that people are so dependable on their phones that they go to extreme lengths to not go a day or a minute without it. People have everything on their phones these days, and that is kind of scary. Another sort of general thing about the movie is that you have to be careful of what you say on the internet, because people just take things personally and you don't know what you're saying, how what you're saying is going to affect people. But there's also another part of this issue, which is represented by Link. The climax of the movie, I would say, really focuses a little bit on that. Like, you can't be responsible for what someone does because of something you said. There's like a really fine line there that you need to be careful, yes, but you're not responsible for what someone does because of what you said. So yeah, it's a touchy subject. So those are the two general ideas that I think we all knew going into the movie. But before I get deeper into like the more serious issues, I think we need to talk about the main characters, and here I'm talking about Frankie and Link. Frankie represents all of the teenagers, young adults that live on the internet era. She sees the world through a screen. That is really visible when she is having dinner with Link and she has her phone on his face the whole time. On the other hand, in this scene, Link represents the opposite. He represents the life that you should be living in the real world and just enjoying the moment. Frankie is also a really relatable character because she doesn't know what to do with her life. She has ambitions, but is just stuck in a job that she doesn't necessarily like because she's just trying to get by and pay her bills. As for Link, as previously mentioned, Link is the opposite of Frankie. He starts off as someone that completely rejects the modern world. But as he gets deeper into the story, his character transforms and he becomes the impersonation of social media itself. Link represents the side of social media where you can be whoever you want to be. You only show what you want and you can create a completely different persona on the internet. It's actually kind of funny because I feel like Andrew Garfield is really similar to Link. He has said multiple times that he's not really into social media, and from what I know, he only has like a secret Twitter account. So it's funny because I feel like most of Link is actually Andrew Garfield himself, being himself. So yeah, that's an interesting aspect. So now that you know the characters and what they represent, let's get into the movie, and I'm going to go from scene to scene and basically following the movie's order. So yeah. It's interesting because the movie starts out with some like really specific details, as when we first meet Link, he's in a rat costume and the title cards even say, or is he a rat, as in a rat of society. Rats are scavengers and opportunistic eaters. They will eat garbage and other things people throw away. This right away says a lot about Andrew Garfield's character and where it will lead him. And then later on we see Link dressed up as another animal that is despised by society, a cockroach. The cockroach also tells us a lot about Link actually. However, on a more positive note, cockroaches symbolize durability, endurance and continuance. Hence the fact that Link keeps working on and making more content and just not giving in to people's standards. Cockroaches are also a symbol of darkness, which connects to Link's dark past. This part of the movie is actually pretty straightforward. It talks about how people disregard art, like people don't pay attention and don't appreciate it enough. That also tells us a lot about Link's character, at least how he is in the beginning of the movie. The cemetery part is where the movie gets deeper into the social media topics. This part is literally a representation of what most teens do on a social event these days. Everyone is so interested in posting things and have proof that something happened, as well as brag about something, that they forget to enjoy the moment and create memories. And actually this is the scene where I think Andrew Garfield is more himself. Like, yeah, I could totally see him like himself and almost didn't look like he was playing a character. So that was pretty interesting. Frankie and and Link's relationship is a roller coaster. As the movie goes on and after the climax, which I'll get into later, Frankie realizes that Link is not who he says he is. However, Frankie disregards what she learns about him and his past and just pretends she doesn't know any of that. She still stays with him and doesn't even ask him about anything. That symbolizes the fact that people just see what they want to see. She knows, but she rather pretend none of that is real, and that happens a lot on the internet when celebrities and influencers do bad things. Some people are so loyal that they would rather deny that their favorite YouTuber did something bad. Luckily, Frankie comes to the realization that Link is not good for her. That is shown not only when she sees the news of the girl that killed herself, but also in the scene where she's watching a video of Link in the big screen at the stage, like right at the end, and in this shot Link is eating Frankie. And that symbolizes that he's suffocating her and basically erasing her identity. But it's actually later that Frankie finally decides to end everything with Link and step out of the project, and in a scene that might seem dumb to some of people, Frankie vomits emojis, and this symbolizes that Frankie is finally getting the social media out of her and focusing on the real world. Then we see a shot of Link performing on stage side by side with a shot of Frankie walking in nightlight. That might symbolize that you are able to live both lives, because the truth is you can't live only on the internet, but you can't live without it either. It's a balance. And that's actually where I think people misunderstood the movie, because it doesn't take a side. It just shows you the good and the bad of social media and lets you decide for yourself. Now let's talk about that moment in the movie, the climax, where I think it has the most things to say, but it also has like really controversial topics. So in the game show, as a final resource, Link, Frankie and Jake, not so much Jake though, but they are all involved in it. They decide to push further and make a girl show the unedited version of a picture of herself, a picture where you can see her birthmark on her face, as well as what is regarded as other flaws. On a basic level, this tells you that people only show what they want on internet. They're not really themselves and most things are edited. But what is more important to understand here is the impact and the weight that social media has on people these days. People pay too much attention to everyone else thinks, which make them afraid to be themselves online. And then comes the more controversial part of the film, which is when Link basically makes that girl expose herself and just post the unedited picture online. This is a double-edged sword. It's awful that people are afraid to be themselves online and they should just be real, but it's also wrong to force people to show something that they're insecure about when they're not ready to share it yet. Social media poisons people with fake standards. That's the message that Link wants to get across when he does this, but then this backfires on him because the girl ends up killing herself. So there's the debate, like, is he to blame or is the society to blame? And he even raises up that question. And I actually came across a review that said something that I really enjoyed. This is from Dion Wynn on Letterboxd. This person says, to become an online enigma is to lose your morals for some people. And that's basically what ends up happening with Link. He has some standards in the beginning of the movie. is like really against a phone and is not really into social media and just wants to live in the real world. But then as he gets more fame, he ends up losing his morals and just basically humiliating this girl. I also like that the movie gives you an insight about editing, and in this case, like, Frankie edits the video to look like the girl wanted to share the picture, and it just shows that with a little editing you can change a situation, like the narrative of a story can completely change. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. However, in the end, the real video is published on the internet, and that also backfires on Link, and that raised a few interesting questions. In the scene where all those real social media stars are present, Link is asked about his real life because the interviewer didn't find anything online, and when Link doesn't want to respond to that, everyone gets mad. So basically people will criticize you for keeping your life private, and you have to show everything on the internet. And in his final speech, Link talks about how the internet is so eager to judge you for whatever you do that you can't even do what you want. So basically you have to find the middle ground and just not care of what other people say. It's a balance. And finally, the end shows how easy people turn on you on the internet as soon as you do something wrong, but at the same time it's easy to get back into its good grace. So there's no formula, things change in an instant, and yeah. As far as the cinematography goes, there's also really interesting themes in there. I feel like most people didn't really enjoy that, but I found that like really fascinating. Like, the movie begins with title cards, like really old school title cards, and I found that so interesting that it was a like contrast with the videos filmed on an iPhone. It's like, look how films were like back in the day, like really old films, and look how we're making films right now. It's a drastic change. This is more of a personal thing, but I really enjoyed when the song Talia by King Princess appears in the movie. It's when Link and Frankie finally hook up, and like the timing was perfect. Like, I loved that. I also loved the way they showed how Frankie felt when they finally hook up. They didn't need to show like the sex scenes or anything, and actually for a movie that sexualizes a ton of things, not showing this scene is like really interesting, as well as this over sexualization of the whole film. Besides that part, also connects to the social media where a lot of things are over sexualized. Overall, the movie is loud and annoying, which is one of the reasons why people didn't like it, but it actually serves a purpose. It mimics the internet and social media. Everything is so fast and constructed in a way to grab your attention and suck you in. And the movie is also really colorful, and that also connects with the social media thing. Like, in social media, people only show you like the bright side of life and the happy moments, and that's not how the life works. Everyone has bad moments, and in social media, not only people only show you what they want, but also that like mostly they just show you the happy moments and the good things. So yeah. The movie also tackles other subjects that are not really developed, but I thought I should mention them here, like Jake Netwolf's character. There's a scene where he talks about climate issues and the environment, and Link completely ignores him, and that shows like how people prefer to watch other people on the internet do dumb things and just show their wealth instead of being concerned with actual problems, as for this one, like the environment. The movie also talks a little bit about love at first sight, as well as like love through a screen. They don't really get deep into that. I just thought I should mention because it's interesting. I thought they would go a bit deeper into that. Maybe they kind of do, like with Frankie not knowing who Link really is. Yeah. Other things that I found out about the movie and some connections that I made, they might not be right, but those were my interpretations, were that face that Andrew Garfield makes, like the face that is in the poster, as well as it's like the last shot of the movie. That is the troll face, and I didn't get it the first time I watched the movie, so it was really interesting. That might also mean that he was trolling us, that his character was trolling the viewers. I don't know, I just thought it was a nice touch because the troll is a really big part of the internet, or at least it was. Another thing just struck me, and I don't know if this was intentional, but I believe it was, but his name, Link. I know it's not his real name, but it's the name that he goes by through most of the movie. So Link, as in the links you send, like the URLs, that was like mind-blowing to me. Like when I made that connection, yeah, it makes so much sense. And lastly, this was something that I found. I don't know if it's 100% true. It was on IMDb, but apparently Gia Coppola based Link's character on his cousin Nicolas Cage. So that kind of says a lot. So as you can see, the movie tackles a lot of things. There's a lot of deeper meanings in a ton of things. And these were just the ones that I caught, and these were my interpretations. I didn't find anyone talk about these things. They were just what I think they mean. They make sense to me, so let me know if they make sense to you. And yeah, I don't know why people didn't like at least get it, because it has a lot of things to say, and so I just think people didn't get it. However, my favorite thing about the movie still is the fact that it doesn't pick a side. It lets you choose what is your interpretation. Like, are you in favor of social media? Are you against social media? You make your own conclusions, and as far as I understood, people didn't like that. They wanted something more straightforward. But life isn't like that. And to finish it off, I read another review on IMDb that said something that I really agreed with, so I just thought I should give this person a shout out. This is part of maddycampo's review. So this person says, the simple fact that they created such stupid content adds to the overall message. People are famous for nothing. The pressure of that is so misunderstood. So yeah, I think it's something that is not really talked about, that maybe people do struggle with the fact that they got famous for nothing. So yeah, again, the movie raises so many questions. In the end, Mainstream is a provocative movie that it's not for everybody, but that gives you an interesting story with intricate cinematography, great performances, and most of all, a lot to think about on the internet age that we live in. So yeah guys, I hope you like this video. This is a bit different, not only in a different setup, but I tried to give you like more information. It's not as laid back as I usually do. I actually wrote a script for this. I usually only have like some topics. So let me know if you prefer this type of videos or if you like it a bit more chill. I don't know, I just think I had so many things to say that I had to like write it down. But yeah, let me know if you liked Mainstream. I hope you do, and if you didn't, let me know if this video changed your mind. I hope it did. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video.